Hello, this is teacher Marco from phuketpals, and welcome back to this GED Social Studies screencast. Today I would like to share a brief lecture about the Allied Powers in World War I. And by the way, this is my fourth video in this series, so if you find these videos useful, please hit the subscribe button below, and don't forget to share it and also hit the like button. It helps us help more people like you. So, let's begin. Um, World War I was fought between two major alliances of countries, the Allied Powers and the Central Powers. So the Allied Powers were largely formed as a defense against the aggression of Germany and the Central Powers. They were also known as the Entente Powers because they began as an alliance between France, Britain, and Russia. And they are called the Triple Entente. So, which countries belong to the Allied Powers? So these countries allied in opposition to the Central Powers. These are France, Britain, Russia, and the United States. So let's try to take a look at them one by one. Well, for France, Germany declared war on France on August 3, 1914. And France had been preparing for war after Germany and Russia went to war. The majority of the fighting along the Western Front took place inside of France. The next country is Britain. So Britain entered the war when Germany invaded Belgium. They declared war on Germany on August 4, 1914. British troops joined French troops on the Western Front to stop the advance of Germany across Western Europe. So initially they were neutral. Britain was neutral. And then later on, when Germany invaded Belgium, they declared war. And that was again in August 4, 1914. Next one is Russia. So Russia, the Russian Empire, was an early entry into the war. And Germany declared war on Russia on July 31st, 1914. They expected that Russia would defend Serbia against the invasion of Serbia by Germany's ally, Austria-Hungary. The Russian Empire also included Poland and Finland. After the Russian Revolution, Russia left the Allied Powers and signed a peace treaty with Germany on March 3rd, 1918. So I will do a separate screencast with regard to the Russian Revolution. Now we'll talk more about that topic in depth. So let's go to the fourth country, the United States of America. So the United States tried to remain neutral, same with Britain. However, it entered the war on the side of the Allied Powers on April 6, 1917. Pretty late, right? When it declared war, around 4,355,000 American troops were mobilized, with around 116,000 losing their lives. So other countries, other allied countries included Japan, Italy, Belgium, Brazil, Greece, Montenegro, Romania, and Serbia. Okay, so don't be confused. Why is Japan here? Well, initially in World War I, they are part of the Allied Powers. Okay? Alright, so who were the leaders? So for France, it's Monsieur Georges Clemenceau. So Clemenceau was Prime Minister of France from 1917 to 1920. So his leadership helped hold France together during the most difficult times of war. His nickname was the Tiger. So Clemenceau represented the French at the peace talks and advocated for harsh punishment for Germany. All right, if you still remember my previous screencast, it was French was one of the countries who advocated harsh punishment against Germany. Right? Now, Britain. So Britain was led by David Lloyd George. So Lloyd George was the Prime Minister of Britain during much of the war. So he was an advocate of Britain entering the war and kept the country together during the war. Another, of course, who advocated was King George V, the third George, all right, if you noticed. So King George V was the king of Britain during the war. George V was a figurehead with little power, but he often visited the front to inspire the British troops. Now, take a look at the picture, and also try to notice the next picture that I will be showing you, the next person. Boom. So for Russia, it was Tsar Nicholas II. So why did I ask you to take a look at the picture? Take a look at their resemblance. Yes, they are related to each other. They are actually cousins. So Tsar Nicholas II was the leader of Russia at the start of World War I. He entered the war in defense of Serbia. However, the war effort was disastrous in the eyes of Russian people. And the Russian Revolution occurred in 1917. And Nicholas II was removed from power. He was executed in 1918 together with his family. I'll talk more about that on the feature screencasts. Okay, so and the last one, of course, is the United States. This is President Woodrow Wilson. So President Wilson was re-elected on the platform that he kept America out of the war. However, he was given little choice and declared war in Germany in 1917. After the war, Wilson advocated less harsh terms on Germany, knowing that a healthy German economy would be important for all of Europe. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's take a look. I'm going to give you some interesting facts about the Allied powers, and then after this, we'll go with the GED practice test question. So here, interesting facts about the Allied powers. Belgium declared itself as neutral at the start of the war, but joined the Allies after they were invaded by Germany. Another interesting fact is that it is estimated that around 42 million military personnel were mobilized by the Allies during the war. Around 5,541,000 were killed in action, and another 12,925,000 were wounded. Ooh. Alright. The two Allied countries with the most soldiers killed were Russia, with 1,800,000, and France with around 1,400,000. So now you know why the Russian people were so angry with the Tsar. Another one, Vladimir Lenin became the leader of Soviet Russia after Tsar Nicholas II was overthrown during the Russian Revolution. So Lenin wanted Russia out of the war, so he made peace with Germany. And last fact, interesting fact is the United States was never an official member of the Allies, but called itself an associated power. Okay. So now let's go and answer this particular question. Like what I said previously, in my previous screencast, primary source questions are very common in the GED tests. So that's why I'm giving you a lot of examples with primary sources. Okay, so let's take a look at this example. During World War I, two revolutions took place in Russia, while Russia was at war with Germany. Vladimir Lenin, the leader of the Bolshevik Revolution, said, "There can be no doubt that our army is absolutely in no condition to beat back a German offensive successfully." So the statement could be used to support the thesis that, or if we rephrase the question, what do you think is the meaning of the statement? Okay, A. Lenin had few skills as a military leader. B. Russia shared in the responsibility for World War I. C. Lenin believed that Russia should withdraw from World War I. And D. The Bolshevik Revolution had the support of the Russian army. Now, even if you don't understand this statement, if you know the background or the history, you know that the Russian Revolution occurred because Vladimir Lenin despised the participation of Russian people in the World War I. So with that historical background or with that knowledge, you will be able to answer this question easily. So the clear answer there would be C. Lenin believed that Russia should withdraw from World War I. The other options are actually irrelevant or talks about the opposite opinion. Okay, so I hope that I was able to help you today, and please do visit this channel and don't forget to subscribe. And that's all from me today, Teacher Marco, and thank you for watching this screencast. Have a good day.